Hi, y'all. I am back. This is Person-Centered Cyber. Welcome. So we have a good one tonight, okay? So let me tell you what I was doing. Y'all know I just be looking for stuff, okay? So I came upon an article that somebody wrote when he went to Black Hat. Okay, so Black Hat was this year, I guess it was in August. And some people go in person, but some people could, could go virtually because of the corona, all right? So he wrote this article, and I'm like, that would be a really, really good thing to talk about on the channel, because when it comes to malicious hackers, we're fascinated, okay? And one primary reason why, which is what I talked about in the Blacks in Cybersecurity conference that I was at, the winter thing, we have whitewashed this criminal behavior, okay? So now, even to get kids to come in, right? We're showing them this, that's how we attract them, that you can, crack your mom's password or something like that. You know what I mean? So so they're mysterious. They're like, people that we look up to, the skill. And, I mean, we think they're just so skilled and, their intelligence or whatever is off the chain when that is totally not true. All right. Yeah, so all that admiration is disgusted. Okay, so I was like, well, let me come here and just give folks another side of what's actually going on. Okay, because what's really going on. Because you know how when you idolize people, you don't see them for who they really are. Okay. So before I get into the mistakes that they make, according to this article that this guy wrote as a result of Black Hat and some other stuff, that I researched. I want to talk about, let me pull this up on the screen. Hacker types, right? Now, not in the way we normally talk about them, okay? I want to know like the psychology of the hacker, the criminal hacker, okay, primarily. But look at this right here, okay? So this is what I found. Oh, sorry, it's down like that in my face. It was like, you're okay though. So we're going to talk about black, white, and gray. So if you look at this across, now this was some research that was done, okay? And this is what they came up with. So let me read to you. You'll see that the black hat is high for thrill seeking, the white hat is high for agreeable, and the gray hat is high for neurotic. Now let me tell you what that means, okay? So for the black hat, thrill seeking, okay? So we kind of see that, right? But it's thrill seeking in a way that it's like an adrenaline rush. Yeah, my connection is being weird right now. I don't know why, but so it's according to the psychology, okay? Now, they're also manipulative, deceitful, exploitative, cynical, and insensitive. Okay, so those are some of the characteristics of a black hat hacker or a criminal hacker or attacker, or how whatever we want to call them. Now, a white hat, okay, a white hat is open to experience. Now, they do the same stuff that a black hat does, okay, but to help the business or whomever, right? It's not for criminal purposes, okay? Now they're open to experience. So that's, it's thrill seeking, but not like the black hat, it's not, I'll go to any extreme to get another high, to get this next rush, okay? But they are open to experience. They do like that, okay? And they do get a little something from it, but it's not at that, at that level. They're amenable, okay? But listen to this. White hat hackers can also be narcissistic, okay? And so narcissism is when you have extreme self-involvement to the degree that it makes you forget about the well-being of somebody else, okay? We all know narcissists, right? And so let me tell you some of the things a narcissist says, some of the things that a narcissist will say. Let me get this off the screen because I feel like I'm stretching my neck trying to look up over this thing. Some things a narcissist will say. I'm sorry you feel that way. Ciao. Don't that sound like y'all know people who say, I'm sorry you feel that way? You know, like what the hell that mean? You sorry I feel, you know, especially if you've done something. You know what I'm saying? They don't say I'm sorry. They say I'm sorry you feel that way about what I did. You know, if that ain't narcissistic, I don't know what is. Okay. They also blame a lot, right? And push stuff on you, like you're so insecure, you're paranoid, that kind of thing. Okay. Um, and they also try to isolate, right? To make you feel like, okay, nobody's gonna like you as much as I do, or your friends don't really like you. You know, I'm really the only one who cares for you, or whatever the case is. Okay, so white hats tend to be, this ain't me. Okay, I'm telling you what I read in the research over here. Okay, and I'm going to be putting some of these links down in the description. They the ones that have said, okay, that white hats are narcissistic. Okay, or tend to be. Not all of them, of course. Okay, but you know, who are the folks that they did this research with? All right. Gray hats. Gray hats, it's really interesting. They are, or tend to be, emotionally reactive. Okay, so they, gray hats tend to have low emotional stability. Okay, and they found that people with low emotional stability tend to be cyber bullies, or bullies in the physical world. Okay, they tend to be bullies. Okay, they're not able to regulate their emotions. So whichever way the wind blowing, honey. Okay, that's where we going. Okay, and we ain't gonna let it go. Okay, until I get over it. If I get over it. All right. So that's how, you know, the profile of these different hacker types. Now, this stuff, you know, can be useful when it comes to security. But I thought that that was just really interesting, you know, before we get into some of the mistakes that that hackers make. All right. So the article that I read is called "I Watched a Training Video for Iranian Hackers." Okay, and it's 8/5/2021. Like I mentioned, I'll put the link in the video. This was an individual who went to the Black Hat Conference. Okay, and the group he's talking about is the IBM Threat Group 18. Okay, or the ITG 18. They're also known as Phosphorus and Charming Kitten. Okay, I don't know if this is on that MITRE list with all these different APTs, but they're an APT. Okay, now this group, they observed them, the article said, for about a year. Okay, to see what all the stuff they were doing. They're believed to be based in Iran. Okay, now they have a record. Like, this is some of the stuff that they've done. They've been able to obtain emails, photos, chat logs, and other things from their targets. And their targets are nuclear scientists, politicians, journalists, and individuals making the COVID-19 vaccine. It's like, y'all ain't got nothing better to do. Like, for real though, individuals, you know, I mean, all of this is ridiculous. But what you hacking these folks for, child? But so all this tracking that they did, you know, for like a year of this group, this is what they found, as far as the mistakes that they were making, because, you know, they're human beings too. They're not anything special and wonderful and, you know, more enlightened or anything like that. Okay, they're regular folks. So number one, the security researchers said that this group routinely left servers and directories open. which allowed them, the security researchers, to see the data they retrieved and the tools they used. Okay, so they just went, I mean, the door was wide open and they just went right in and found what they wanted to find. Okay. Number two, so typically, they said that typically attackers want to keep their targets secret. They don't want anybody to know who their targets are. But for this group, they said, they actually created a document. Guess what they labeled the document? Targets. Okay. And it included names and phone numbers of their now this is an actual APT, okay? This is an actual group, all right? Number three, because the group had unpatched software on their system, they were ransomwared, okay? Somebody, locked them up. They sure did. So they were hit by ransomware because they didn't patch their software. Okay, so that was another mistake, that they made. So another person, how do you pronounce this? Gucci Fur 2.0. I think that's how you pronounce it. So after months and months and months of remaining anonymous, this attacker failed to activate a VPN before logging into a social media site, which allowed investigators to locate where he or she was, okay? And then one more, there was one APT group that had purchased some IP addresses, but it said that they allowed them to expire. I don't know how that happens, how you allow IP addresses to expire, I'm not sure. But anyway, they did, and because they did, law enforcement was able to buy those IP addresses, okay, and then track the malware that phone home to that group, okay? So they made a mistake and let their IP addresses expire, and somebody else bought them, okay? And they were just waiting in the wings. So sometimes all you gotta do is wait, okay? And it was interesting because in the article, it was talking, not this article, but another one that I'm going to share with you. It was talking about how you don't have to protect everything everywhere all the time. Okay. It's about finding out those things, okay, that would have the most impact. Okay. The things that would have the most impact. And they said that you do have those really elite, hackers and attackers and APTs and all that, but even they make these kinds of mistakes, okay? So it's, I mean, like obvious stuff that you would think, like they do stuff that everyday users do, that y'all always harping on users about. You know what I'm saying? They do those things, and no matter how elite they are, because they're human beings, they forget. I don't know, you forget to update some software, like whatever's happening is happening, okay? So what else I got here? Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to share those links with you all, okay? And all right, I think that's all I have right now. So I just wanted to share that because I thought it was interesting. We never talk about that. We never talk about how they, make mistakes. And I thought this article was amazing. So I'm going to put it here. Hey, Professor Black Ops, how you doing? So I'm going to put it here so y'all can read the whole thing in its entirety. Oh, and something else it said that was so interesting. Oh my goodness. They were able to access the some desktop somewhere for this group, okay? And they had training. They were going to training, okay? So let me see if I can find what they had on the screen. Here it is. Let me show you what they had on the screen. So it says they used a recording software called Bandicam, and these folks did not pay for it. What else did it say? The video, let me show you while I'm talking about it. Okay. Let me show you while I'm talking about it. Hi, Ayana. How are you doing? All right, let me see. Share screen. Show y'all what I'm talking about. And again, I'm going to share this link. All right, so this is what they saw. So you see that that screen right there? These are the guys, Wyckoff and Emerson. Okay, they gave a whole presentation on how these guys were just bumbling all over the place. All right. So this is a video. It showed the attacker logging into Gmail and Yahoo Mail and configuring the accounts to work with the Zembra, I've never heard of that, email collaboration platform. Okay. He says it was a strange experience watching a hacker open a notepad file to copy and paste usernames and passwords for their fake accounts, precisely what security experts warned you not to do. And they were doing that. Okay. They noted how these training videos and little mistakes humanized ITG-18. The hacker stumbled on typing URLs and struggled to convince CAPTCHAs that they were real people. Wyckoff said it was a great reminder that threat actors are human too. All right. Look, them CAPTCHA things get on my, I'm telling you, it's like choose all the buses. It's like, girl, there ain't no more buses here. Okay. Like, what do you want me to choose? I can see how to CAPTCHA. I understand that one. Okay. With the CAPTCHA, they're terrible. They're awful. You know what? Let me go ahead and put this link in the chat right now if y'all want to go and read this. Very interesting. Very, very interesting article. They got a lot of interesting stuff that happened at Black Hat. I might have to take myself on over there one of these years. Okay, so there's the link if y'all want to go to the article right now just to read some of that stuff. Now, the other stuff I was talking about, the mind of, so I'm going to give you this link too. Okay, where it talks about how these individuals think. Okay. Now, what was I looking for? I was doing something for Blacks in cybersecurity. And it was talking about, I went to look up the psychology of different people, not just criminal hackers, but any kind of criminal. And one of the ones I looked up was the mind of an arsonist, okay, or the psychology, you know, of an arsonist. Like what's the profile? Like what kind of person just be setting stuff on fire for no reason? Okay, I mean, it seems like no reason for me, you know, but it's some reason for him or her, you know, to do that. You know, and it's the same thing here. Like these folks are there's a profile of these people, which is why I did the stuff in the beginning. Y'all know I cannot multitask, so let me be quiet so I can copy this link and put it in here. Okay, there you go. Now this is the one about the hacker's mind. All right, the hacker mind. What's the other one? Did I want to give y'all another one? That's the only other one I had here. All right. Now, just because they're bumbling and they're making, you know, silly mistakes that you wouldn't think such an elite group would make, all right, that does not mean that, you know, they're not dangerous, okay, and they're not like they don't know what they're doing. All right. It's just the idea that, you know, we can take them off the pedestal. Like if you got them on one, okay, if you're super impressed and all that, you can take them off. They can come off. All right, because they're just like you. They really are. They're just like you. All right, that's all I got for y'all today. This was a short one. Okay, I just wanted to share that, and I hope you found it useful. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Let me show you this right here before I go. I got to show y'all my so y'all know that I have, where is it? I have my Teespring store, okay? I have all of these shirts. I'm gonna have to get some long, and I got one on right now. Let me get out so you can see. This is the excuse the girls. This is my, can you see that? Protecting your freedom to be secure, cybersecurity researcher. So I have that, this like above several of them. I have like cybersecurity analyst and other stuff, but it's at the Teespring store. My Level Up and Think Like a Defender is my favorite. okay? Because you won't find a t-shirt like that anywhere. To level up and think like a defender. I said it. Yes, I did. Okay. So that's what we need to do. We ain't running behind no more criminal hackers. Okay. Try to do what they do and think like they think and eat what they eat and dress how they dress and look like they look. No, we're not doing it anymore. All right. So y'all have an amazing evening. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Okay. And I'm going to see you here next time. Bye-bye.